And like other colleagues here, I would also like to pay tribute to my dentists and the whole team of dental staff who support them. They do amazing work, and almost all of them went above and beyond during the pandemic. Now, I have to express a bit of a concern about the information that the Minister may be being fed by her officials. I got a letter on the 16th of December from NHS in the East of England Direct Commissioning, and I'll just quote it very briefly. It says, having conducted a search of dental practices in the Leighton Buzzard area, I can confirm that of the 47 dental practices, 6 are accepting new NHS patients, and then goes on to say that there are 30 others which they've not heard from. I had an email only this morning from a couple in Leighton Buzzard to say that they had given up trying to find an NHS dentist. A lady in Dunstable wrote yesterday to say that the waiting list locally is 2 years, and another constituent wrote to say they had also been actually turned away by emergency dentists that 111 had referred to. So yes, I will of course give way to the Father of the
Sir
House.
Peter Bottomley.
My honourable friend, would it be too difficult for the NHS, just in every constituency, name by constituency, to have a list of the dental practices and what their situation is? Because then they would know what the situation is, the patients would know what the situation is, the MPs would know what the patient is, and they would change the situation.
Well, I think the Father of the House is absolutely right. It was a point made by my right honourable friend for Basingstoke earlier. I don't think the data is nearly good enough, and I don't see how ministers can have proper oversight if we don't actually know what is happening. And I fear that when this letter says, having conducted a search of dental practices in the Leighton Buzzard area, I fear the person who wrote this letter sat at their desk and went on Google to find out. I don't think they actually came to the town. I don't think they walked round. I don't think they spoke to the dentists, and I don't think they probably spoke to the local health watch and spoke to the people in the town. So how can the Minister have accurate information if what we're getting up from the officials, and this is an official letter from the NHS to me, is not actually reflecting what is happening on the town? And, Mrs Ali, my area, like my honourable friend North East Bedfordshire, we are scheduled to have another 14,000 houses that are being consented. They're being built now. So we're struggling now. I mean, I have a major campaign on making sure that general practice capacity keeps up with major new housing developments. How are we doing this for dentists as well if we already have a deficit? You know, will the money follow these huge new housing developments, which many of us are having in our constituencies? So we really do need answers on that as well, and if the Minister is able to give further information on that, that would be really, really helpful, either when she replies or perhaps by letter afterwards. We've heard from many colleagues here about the issue of children's teeth, and I'm informed that tooth decay is the #1 reason for young children having hospital admissions. The #1 reason. It does show the importance of prevention, getting it right. The whole issue of sugary drinks, I realise the help that fluoridisation gives. But, children's oral health is a huge issue. One or two colleagues, I think the Honourable Lady for York, mentioned older people's dental care. I had a debate on older people's dental care in the other place. It's a subject we often do not talk enough about, particularly people in care homes. Actually, do the managers of those homes make sure that the staff help the patients to actually brush their teeth? And what about the oral care of people receiving domiciliary care as well? Is that budgeted in for? Because, it is really serious. It can lead to malnutrition. It can lead to all sorts of problems. And there was a major CQC report. It was actually only on the care home sector, saying smiling matters in June 2019. And it'd be good to have an update from the Minister on how we are actually doing in making sure that older people's dental care is also taken proper care of. Now, we know that the current contract, about which most of us have been complaining about, was brought in 2006, so quite some time ago. But back in June 2009, there was an excellent independent review about what we needed to do about it by a Professor Jimmy Steele. And I'll quote one paragraph from it. He says, through the NHS, dentistry could take a huge step forward. But in order to do that, one concept is critical. So long as we see value for taxpayers' money as measured by the production of fillings, dentures, extraction of crowns, rather than improvements in oral health, it will be difficult to escape the cycle of intervention and repair that is the legacy of a different age. Now, I think the Steele report got it right. That was under the previous administration in June 2009. And I think the work on reform, I'm told, started in 2011. And here we are in 2022. So I think what all of us really are saying to the Minister, who is diligent, I know cares about these matters, is that we really do need some urgency. Now, in terms of the number of dentists, perhaps slightly surprisingly and perhaps contrary to some of what we've heard today, I had an email yesterday from the British Dental Association which said as follows: we don't really have a shortage of dentists in England. The number of dentists registered with the General Dental Council is in fact almost 2,000 higher now than it was in 2018. The key problem is that these dentists increasingly don't want to work in the NHS. Almost 1,000 quit the NHS in the last year alone. But this email goes on. It says if they move to private provision, they don't actually earn any more. So they're not just leaving doing NHS work because of the money. They're leaving because they can't look after their patients properly under this contract. It says that they are so, it is so soul-destroying chasing these NHS units of dental activity. It's stressful and it's demoralising. So what do they do for the same money, not more money? This is what the British Dental Association say. They go to private practice where they can spend more time with their patients, providing the level of care their patients deserve. So we're really not doing it right. To try and guard taxpayers' money with efficiency, we're driving them out of the service. We're measuring the wrong things. I don't think we're measuring enough. We don't seem to have enough measurement, but we are measuring. We're measuring the wrong things. And it's not possible to get improvements unless we have data and unless we have the correct data. And, I have confidence, actually, in this Secretary of State and this Minister, but I think what we are all saying to it is urgent, and please get on with it with proper reforms.